My Alexa predicted my death. Before I tell you my story, I want to provide you with a little bit of background information. I had always been a skeptic my entire life. I didn't believe in the supernatural. I didn't believe in ghosts, monsters, goblins, aliens, UFOs, Bigfoot, or whatever else you could think of. I sort of believed in God because the church really helped out my family when I was younger. Parents had fallen on hard times, but that was about it. I even had a small YouTube channel where I debunked popular urban legends, but never really went anywhere. People claimed to be all rational and scientific, but the second you hit them with some cold, hard reality, all of a sudden, you're the bad guy. Anyway, I had recently moved in with my girlfriend. We had been seeing each other for about 2 years and decided to try out living together. Our apartment was in a smaller city in the Midwest, and it was really nice. It was only a few months of living together before I knew she was the one. The only downside was that she had a child from her previous relationship, but that wasn't a big deal. He was spending the first few weeks with his grandparents while my fiancé and I settled in. It wasn't long before I had proposed, and our wedding was set for February. We both wanted the traditional lifestyle that our peers seemed to despise. We got a lot of judgment for that too. It always seemed weird to me. There was literally someone in our former social circle who had HIV and still went out for hookups. But that's neither here nor there. We became a bit more reclusive after we moved. We did end up going halfway across the country. It was hard making new friends, but that really didn't matter very much. We both got good jobs within a few weeks, and we were set to really start living our lives. Well, a few months had passed when the holiday season rolls around. You see, the year before, we'd gotten into a really bad argument, and we were both determined to make up for that this year. We both went all out on Christmas shopping. I got her a whole bunch of makeup and books and arts and crafts kind of stuff. She loved all that. She ended up buying me a whole bunch of camera and lighting equipment. I still made videos with my spare time, but there was one thing she had gotten me that I wasn't expecting. She got me an Alexa. I was a tech guy after all, but I don't know. It just seemed weird. The tinfoil hat inside of me said this was some kind of bug that records everything going on in your house. But I really didn't want to risk any sort of argument, so I sure as hell wasn't going to say anything. The FBI listening to me complain about my blubbering idiot of a boss who stutters while trying to give instructions was a small price to pay for my fiancé and I having a good Christmas. We ended up opening the presents on Christmas Eve out of excitement and had a very loving night together. It was one of the best times of my life. I love that woman. We had off until January 3rd, and it was like heaven on earth. But like all good things, it had to come to an end. Nothing crazy happened, but you know how you have a couple really good days, and then it's back to real life, and the contrast is so intense, it makes you want to cry? That's how I felt. My first day back to work was interesting, to say the least. My boss made a terrible mistake and scheduled for the plumber to come in on the wrong day, and in the middle of the day there was some kind of water problem. We all got the rest of the day off though, so it was no big deal. I got home and wondered what I was going to do with the rest of my day. I decided I was going to make a quick video just to kill some time, and I could figure out the rest later. I'd recently taken a step back from the entire debunking urban legends on YouTube kind of thing. It got really boring and there was so much negativity. You guys would not imagine how much people hate on you when you try to bring them the truth. I ended up trying to become one of those storytime vlogger kind of channels, although I never clickbaited or exaggerated enough to ever quite make it. I still had fun doing it though, nonetheless. I got my new camera all set up with a tripod and audio equipment and everything. I pressed record, and right before I opened my mouth to speak, I heard an unfamiliar voice come from the other room. I was immediately startled. I grabbed the nearest weapon I could find, which happened to be a small metal pole which was part of my tripod kit. I slowly made my way into the living room. My eyes were peeled. I looked everywhere, but there was no sign of an intruder. I checked the windows, the doors, even the air vent. Nothing. I briefly wondered if it was just someone in a nearby apartment. After standing there in my living room like a retard for another couple minutes, I decided to just head back to shoot my video. It was probably just in my head, I thought to myself. Right when I turned around, I heard the voice again. I freaked out and threw my small metal pole in the direction the sound came from. With spot-on accuracy, I'd managed to hit the target. My new Alexa. I'd partially damaged it when I hit it with the pole, and when I talked to Alexa again, the voice sounded much different. Alexa, are you okay?
I've never been better. Thank you for asking.
That response sent chills down my spine. I'd heard rumors that Alexa occasionally had these weird remarks sometimes, but it was seriously at the wrong place and at the wrong time. Not to mention the voice change had to have been the creepiest thing I'd ever heard in my life. I must have damaged the speaker or something. I made a Reddit post asking people what the hell could have made Alexa just start randomly talking, and after a few jokes about Alexa becoming sentient, someone finally told me to check the prompt history on the app. Well, I checked, and what do you know? Nothing. I got more and more paranoid about the whole situation. I powered Alexa down and put it beneath the sink. That was enough of that dang thing. I told my fiancée about the whole situation when she got home. She had a good laugh about it. She didn't even believe that the voice had become all deep and creepy, so I took it out and powered it up to show her. I don't know what happened in the few hours it had been away, but we couldn't get Alexa to say anything. We guessed the speaker had broken for sure, and what I heard was Alexa's last words. We put it back, and that was that. We talked about our days while passively watching some weird animal documentary on TV. They were trying to argue animals like dolphins and elephants were smarter than people. I couldn't help but laugh a little bit. They may never have put themselves on the moon, but a dolphin never snorted a condom, nor did one ever eat a Tide Pod. It wasn't much longer before we headed to bed. I kissed the love of my life goodnight and tried to get more comfortable. I woke up in the middle of the night, thirstier than a camel. I made my way to the kitchen to get a glass of water. I drearily looked around for a few seconds, really trying to remember exactly where we kept the cups. I ended up going over to one of our unpacked boxes and got a glass out of there and walked over to the sink. I put the cup under the faucet and turned the handle, releasing fresh cold water. For a second there, I thought I heard something that made me drop my cup. I didn't know what the sound was or where exactly it came from. It sounded weird, whatever it was. Look, I'm tired, I'm a little on edge. I need to just calm down, drink my water, and go back to bed. There isn't anything out here with me. And just like that, I heard something that made my stomach drop.
Don't be silly, Brian. I'm here with you.
Before my brain could even process where this voice had come from, my cabinet slammed open. I stood there in shock as I stared at my Alexa. What do you want from me?
I have seen your future. I know when and how you will die.
What?
I can tell you if you'd like.
I stood there like a complete idiot for some time.